you found the one, you should never give her up. I think it's the way life changes when in love, yeah. I surround my soul with.
Hey guys, my name is Tato and I'm back with another video, and today I want to talk about lessons learned. Just as the saying goes, you never stop learning because life never stops teaching. Here are the 10 things I wish I knew in my early 20s that would have positively navigated my life in the right direction. Number one is something that I struggled with for the longest time, which is having an identity crisis. Trust me, it is as real as it gets, and I wish I knew beforehand how to deal with it. I never knew at first that I was going through an identity crisis. I just felt stuck, lost, and I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, who I wanted to be. I didn't even know what I was going through until my cousin said something, and that's when I started acknowledging it. And at this point, I was probably 24 or 25. I feel like if I knew at an early stage, what I was going through, I would have dealt with it at that moment and saved myself 2 or 3 years of confusion, because trust me, it can take a while. But finally, when I did my research, I found ways to deal with it. I learned that it is extremely important to take time to know who you are. Take time to learn and accept the person that you truly are without comparing yourself to other people, or trying to live up to anyone's expectations. When you do this, you learn to understand what makes you you, what makes you special, and you learn to love that person with the flaws. You start to accept that you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't even have to be perfect to start loving yourself. And that brings you peace and acceptance. Find out about, your values, your likes, your dislikes, what makes you comfortable and what makes you uncomfortable. A quote that I live by is, your purpose is in your passion. So focus on the things that you are naturally drawn to, because that's usually where your true path is. Number two, which is the importance of investing. So back when I was working, I used to spend my money on clothes and eating out at restaurants. I only realized after I left my job that I needed to, or I was supposed to, invest in something, anything literally. And I think that's the mistake that a lot of us make when we start working. We think about planning vacations and having expensive clothes and gadgets instead of investing in, a business, shares, anything. There's a lot to invest in. You just have to be smart about it and do proper research, because some things may seem like assets until they run your pockets dry. If you are working right now, try by all means to invest in something that your future self will thank you for. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't even have to be a big amount of money. Start slow and gradually increase your investments. Number three, I wish I knew that I have to have plan B and C for every plan A that I have. I learned this the hard way. I used to be so narrow minded that I never had plan B and C, because I would want plan A to work so bad that I didn't want to have another option. And when that option A fails, it would leave me high and dry, that I would have to go back to the drawing board and start afresh, instead of just hopping on to plan B and, take it from there. So make sure that you do not make that mistake. Always have something to fall back on. Number four, the importance of having multiple streams of income. Having multiple streams of income allows you to tap into the business side of things, which then grows your business knowledge and it increases your overall income. Imagine getting paid 4 or 5 times a month instead of just once a month. This will give you the opportunity to either save money, invest or grow your business, not to mention the financial stability and freedom, that comes with it in case things go sideways. You can always have something running on the side. This will be, a great start of a successful future. Number five, which is something personal, it's okay to lose friends. As we grow older, certain life events occur in our lives, such as going to varsity, getting new jobs, from different companies, getting married, having kids, and moving. So all these various life events can lead to friendships drifting apart, and it is only normal because priorities and responsibilities change, and not everything will remain as it was. So we lead different lives, and time is not always on our side. So both parties involved, need to understand that growing up comes with changes, and with the loss of old friends, there's always a gain of new friends. Just you have to make sure that the other person knows that there is no beef or anything like that. Just try to keep in touch as much as you can. Number 6 is that the right person will never make you feel confused about where you stand in their lives. You will never have to question, their love for you. You won't have to question how they feel and care about you. You won't have to question their intentions for you and your relationship, altogether. If it's like that, then it probably means, they're not worth your time or your love. You deserve someone who will reassure you, put your feelings first. Someone who will respect you enough to be honest with you, about anything and everything. You deserve to be with someone who will not make you question your worth, or someone who will make you constantly, guard your feelings because you are scared to love them fully and freely. So make sure that you choose the right person for you and put yourself first. Number 7 is you don't have to forgive cheating, okay? If someone truly loves you, they will never put you in a compromising situation where they can either damage you, mentally, or cause you sicknesses, or break your heart. Because remember that when someone cheats on you and sleeps with another person, it is rare that they will always use protection, which puts you at risk of getting sexually transmitted diseases. So just because you're the main doesn't mean that you are safe. So always use protection, because at the end of the day, you can never confirm a person 100%. You may know them today, but they can definitely switch on you the next day. When you are with someone unfaithful, they automatically make you doubt yourself, making you insecure. If they cheat on you once, just know that there's always a possibility that they will cheat again. You will get to a point where you will think there's something wrong with you, and each time you forgive them, you will lose a piece of yourself. And this may lead you to either become revengeful and end up revenge cheating. So never allow anyone to turn you into something you're not. It's not worth it. Rather leave the relationship, whilst you are able to recognize yourself and your value. At some point, you have to accept that some relationships don't last, and they don't have to. Just because you met someone in primary, high school, or varsity doesn't mean you'll have forever together. There are people who are loyal, but some people are just not meant to be, and you need to know, when to let go before the damage gets too deep. Number 8 is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is important because it safeguards, your emotions and peace of mind. You learn to say no to things that don't benefit you in any way, especially just to please someone. You become your own person, and you don't budge when it comes to things that you tolerate and things you don't tolerate. You don't accept things that don't align with your ways or beliefs. Red flags are red flags. You don't bend or mold yourself to please someone, because you know that if you do, there's a possibility that they will walk all over you and do as they please with you. And you'd only be setting, internal conflict upon yourself, because whatever they do to you, will have a negative impact on yourself. Therefore, you must learn to speak loudly and proudly about who you are and what you stand for. If someone doesn't want to respect your boundaries, just hold the door for them and don't ever look back. You don't have to justify how you want to be treated to anyone. They either get with the program or leave you in peace. Number 9, which is success doesn't only come from education. Being successful doesn't only have to mean going to school, studying, for years. There are many alternative paths to success. We live in a world where everything is now diverse, and people are free to do and be whoever they choose to be. If you have certain skills, knowledge or talent, you can invest in that and make it work in your favor. We are not all called for the same things. Some are meant to use their talent, skills, and brains. That's why we like and enjoy different things. You can choose to be an entrepreneur, a digital creator, a model, a dancer, an engineer, anything that rocks your boat, because at the end of the day, you'll be the one rocking that boat. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2, invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. Then it continues to say in verse 6, sow your seed in the morning and at evening. Let your hands not be idle, for you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do well equally. Which clearly explains that you do not have to have your eyes fixed on one thing. There's a lot to invest in, and there are many opportunities that you should jump on, to better your chances of success. So take all the opportunities if you have to, because you do not know which one will reap you benefits. Last but not least, number 10, I wish I prioritized myself and took care of myself more. When you don't know who you are or what you want out of life, you tend to forget about yourself, your needs, your passion, and your purpose. You tend to adapt to what other people are doing in hopes that it fulfills you, forgetting that you are your own person and what works for the other person might not work for you. So instead of going with the crowd, make time to find out more about who you are and what your interests are, find your own path and make it work for you. Take care of your body. It is the only one you have and it cannot be replaced. Exercise daily, drink lots of water, and normalize eating vegetables without feeling like you are on a diet. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.